Full coffee. They're right outside your window. Don't look.
Black Rifle Coffee. You're enlisted soldier. Let's go. Black Rifle Coffee with a sergeant major screaming at you in every cup.
Black Rifle Coffee. You'll never trust your own thoughts again.
Black Rifle Coffee. This is war, soldier. Black Rifle Coffee. This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
And then it has a spin-off. There are many like it. Oh wait, no, it's
Oh yeah.
without it, I am useless.
Yeah.
Without me, it is useless.
That should be their fucking. That really should be their slogan. Black Rifle Coffee. Without it, I am useless, and without me, it is useless.
It is useless.
Yo, Black Rifle Coffee, put us on your marketing team. Damn, that was actually pretty.
We'll
good.
make some YouTube shorts.
That was actually pretty fun. That's gonna be the opening clip, and I'm definitely gonna have to tag them in that. That's pretty good. But you know what though? They're like, yeah, we're not trying to give people PTSD with our fucking coffee.
They're like
PTSD.
Like, these people have enough issues. Yeah.
Black Rifle Coffee, PTSD in every cup.
Black Rifle Coffee, hit the ground.
Black Rifle Coffee. Black Rifle Coffee. Black Rifle Coffee. Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker.
Start naming them after wars. Black Rifle Coffee. World War II.
Right.
Black Rifle Coffee. In the shit.
Black Rifle Coffee. Fuck, what was it? Persian conflict.
Black Rifle Coffee. Cold War. That's their iced coffee.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you know they've pitched all these ideas and they were like, guys, we can't
be doing this.
This seems not illegal, but highly unethical to name these things in our coffee. I do like the bombs going off on every package open, but I don't think we could do that either.
We can't make a grenade sound every time somebody opens a box. Somebody's going to lose it.
When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. Who the fuck is that guy? Oh, don't be scared, homie.
Welcome to Throwing Hands.
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park. The ponytail.
My balls are hot.
So funny to think of. This is more of a guck thing, but just a funny thing I learned today that there's a notorious WrestleMania match that was horrible, which was Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, because they both announced that they were leaving the WWE right after that match. So they built it up and it was a good build up, and then the match came and everybody found out that they were going to not be there afterwards, so they booed them the entire match. But Stone Cold Steve Austin was the guest referee for that match, so they booed them the entire way until the match was over. And then it wasn't until Stone Cold stunned both of them after the match was done that the crowd was like, fuck yeah! And I was like, dude, Stone Cold knew what to do back then. Like, our WrestleMania is getting figured out right now, but for a while it was on some really wackadoo shit. And I was like, that's the only way to save it. Stone Cold has to come in and stun every single person in the ring and then be like, give me a beer.
Give me a beer.
And that's the only way. Can you imagine that there's a crowd of 40,000 people booing in concession at the main event, and they're all going to leave angrily. They might even fucking riot. And what stops them? Stone Cold just hitting two simple moves and then drinking beers and smashing them on his fucking face. And everybody's like, fuck yeah.
Ooh,
let's
that's
go.
What we came here to see.
That's why he's the man. He barely has to do shit. He's the man. The Rock's not the man. Triple H isn't the man. Nobody's the man. Stone Cold is the man. Universally loved by everybody. Universally. And also doesn't overstep his fucking boundaries. Also just hangs out with Poncho. Hey there, Poncho. All right, everybody. I'm doing a little Poncho checkup. Where are you at, Poncho?
Cat, right?
Yeah. Hey there.
Yeah.
It is the most adorable thing in the world to hear him be like, hey there, kitty. Hey there, kitty. It would be that he needs to do is a video of him being like, Poncho, and then the cat going meow, and he goes, what? Poncho goes, meow, meow, meow. What?
That would be fucking awesome. I actually now want to hear Stone Cold a cat.
He does. You just
He
gotta go. You
does?
just gotta go do his TikTok.
Oh my god. I've
Hey
yet to
there,
see one yet.
Poncho. He'll make the little clicky noise. Come here, Poncho. Come here. There he is.
I'm like, even the way he calls his cat is like, what?
Where are you? He calls it, you little son of a bitch. Where are you? I'm like, that's also adorable. That's Stone Cold if he had a kid. Where are you, little son of a bitch?
Thought he had kids.
I don't think he does. Mr. Steve Austin, it's a boy. What?
What?
It's a boy? What? It's a boy. All right. Enough talking about Stone Cold. Coffee.
What?
What? We got a MMA podcast to get to, guys. Welcome, everybody, to another episode, another edition, if you would, to Throwing Hands Podcast. I am your host, Joe. These are my co-hosts, Ian and Darnell. And we are here to go over another week of MMA, combat sports all around the world, street shenanigans. And instead of doing this towards the end, I'd like to start doing it more towards the top. Guys, please, if you're here watching right now, go follow us on our social medias. You can go follow us directly on TikTok. That's the main thing we want you to focus on right now. Go over to TikTok and boost our followers up so we can go live on TikTok. That's Super Sour, JIR, on TikTok. That's also all our social media. So you go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's Super Sour, JIR, all across the way. Go ahead, give us some follows over there. The more follows we get, the more we want to keep posting on there. Also go over to twitch.tv/supersourgames. You can also follow us over there. All free to follow, all easy to do. You can do it right now. You can also follow Darnell on his TikTok and Twitter. That's Snuggy T and Snuggy on WrestleMania TikTok and Twitter. And you can see his day-to-day updates and Destiny clips over there. But right now you're watching the YouTube show that is Throwing Hands. We're going to go over the craziness, the bullshit, and the Octagon control of the week. And this week was Jack Hermansen versus Joe Pyfer fight night on February 10th, 2024. Guys, the card was pretty cool. The card was pretty good. Is there any fight right off the rip that you want to bring up and talk about?
Trevin Giles, or Giles, however you say his name, getting sent to the lowest level of the Shadow Realm out of nowhere.
He folded within himself. Oh no. Domain expansion inside of chest. Holy shit. God damn.
Oh, I was gonna say the Poga Gustav fight.
That was gonna be my pick. Oh my god. Okay, let's
that was Becky and freaking Anthony Smith.
That was crazy. Talk about talk about how interesting it was that Zach Pauga could even stand in there for that long with him. I genuinely didn't. I said last week that I thought Zach Pauga would take the fight because just something about dudes of that Samoan nature where they can kind of take punches a little bit better. Not the case. Not the case. He went in there and
really at all.
He showed some gumption right in the beginning. He was going at him. Didn't stand it. Fucking Bogdan was light on the feet, cutting off movement, just striking him up. And I was like, damn, this is not good. And then let's talk about right after the fight where he screamed at everybody. He just
like a fucking monster.
He stalked around the cage, pointed at people. Ha! Ha! Got up on top of the cage. Ha! Ha!
Like if I was in the crowd and he did that, I would have been like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of here. He's gonna kill everyone in here.
The man's a menace. Literally a menace. Terrifying.
What's his name? Zach played football his entire life until a couple years ago, so he's already on borrowed time.
Yep. That'll
He's like
do
Dominic
it.
Reyes.
Why do football dudes think they can come in and act like they've never had clash of heads ever? What? Shouts out, what's his name? Didn't he play football? Dude who we always make fun of, dude who just got knocked out in a BKFC fight. It wasn't BKFC, but a bare knuckle fight.
No, Greg Hardy's just a lost cause. Bro's doing whatever he can to get money.
That was insane. That poor guy. He's gonna be eating through a straw by the end of it. Unfortunately, something I did want to talk about. I gotta shit on Arichi Long a little bit for this fucking could not continue. That was not a bad ball kick. That was not that bad. And I mean, I understand that he did jump into it, so I'm not saying it wasn't, it didn't hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he took the full 5 minutes and then said, nah, I'm good. 2 more men took incredible ball shots that night. Direct, full-blown, like, slide-up kicks with all power. And they took a couple minutes to walk it off. Everybody's different, but Arichi Long, they were talking about it in the commentary. It seems like he's going to fucking call it because as of right here, he was losing the fight. Daniel Marcos was crushing him, chasing a knockout at this point. And Arichi Long gets kicked in the balls, and then he ends up not taking, because as they were explaining, it was past the 2.5 minute mark. It was just past the 2.5 minute mark. So therefore, they will call it a no decision or a no contest, which would be either way. It would have been great for Arichi Long, because then if it wasn't, then it would have been counted as a fucking DQ for Daniel Marcos, which is only important because Daniel Marcos had an undefeated record up until now. Now he's got a no contest under him. Arichi Long, he's consistently on like the lowest part of the prelims. Let's finish his contract and get him out of here. Let's do that.
Before he fucks up anyone else's records.
Ridiculous. I mean, at this point, it's just not an exciting fight anymore. Like when he first came in, obviously he had some hype, and then of course they brought him in on the China card. So people get a lot of notoriety when you start on those cards as a Chinese fighter or any of those types, and then it just went downhill from there. So not happy with that fight. I think a fight that they're sleeping on in the prelims was a decision fight, which was Oki versus Kwamba. Ian mentioned that they should have had switched last names because it was pretty confusing at some point in the fight. It was, I'm not gonna lie, but it was a goddamn barn burner. Those guys were going at it. And it was really mostly impressive because Max Griffin and Jeremiah Wells unfortunately, they had such a good fight, but then they started ruining it towards the end because they were so gassed. So it's like they put on an amazing 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round just sucked. And then we just sunk after that. We sunk. The Pacino fight was meh. Then the women's fight was super boring. And then thankfully we were like, Aki sure.
Sure.
Fuck me. Oki and fucking Kwamba, they went in there and they went at it. And Dominic Cruz was pointing out truly the difference in the standing in the pocket and when these guys are kind of just throwing full force. Jeremiah Wells, Max Griffin, all explosion, all full blown just bursts of power trying to jump and hurt each other. Meanwhile, Oki and Kwamba were staying in the pocket, swinging, and then kind of getting out of the pocket, swinging some more, just constantly. It was a good fight, and I think that should have gotten a better, maybe at least a performance of the night. But it's hard to say. There was a lot of KOs and finishes also tonight, last night too. Michael Johnson, Darius Flowers. I wanted to bring this fight up because I said last week that it was interesting that Darius Flowers has the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu tattoo right there, big as fuck on his chest, and then he lost his last fight to submission. Michael Johnson, who we just shot on last week, shouts out. He picks up the decision win, and then he's how was he fucking up Darius the whole fight? On the ground for the most part. He was great. Right. And then he was kneeing him in the belly. Shouts out Michael Johnson for kneeing him in the belly. But that's
where he like just straight up like soccer kicked him in the ribs, right?
As they should be doing. And I think you need to get a tattoo cover up, my guy. I think it's time, unfortunately. Listen, Darnell tried to call me out for last week. It's like, do I hate I don't care what he's into. The fact is, the matter is that he's promoting as his main identity Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and he sucks. I'm like, I just think that's a little embarrassing from my standpoint. If I had that, I'd be ashamed. I'd be like, yeah, I do jiu-jitsu. I know jiu-jitsu. I don't tattoo it on my fucking forehead and then lose to submissions every single time. Grappling. Kind of embarrassing.
He had good intent with it.
Look, he loves jiu-jitsu. You can't hate him for that.
Yeah.
It's like an unfortunate thing. He's like, man, you love jiu-jitsu. You got that tattoo. That's sick. Yeah, check out my jiu-jitsu skills in the ring. Not so good.
Maybe he just needs to go to a different Gracie school. Switch up instructors.
Might be
I don't know.
Maybe he should stop doing combatives and go back to fucking what is it called when you actually start fucking sparring and rolling? I like to imagine he only does Gracie combatives. He's just in there doing the beginner classes.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
It would be so funny. He's just a four-stripe white belt. He just got the blue and that's it. He just still does combatives. He's like, I'm good. Tattoo done.
This is all I need.
if you were doing jiu-jitsu for multiple years and you had up to a blue belt and you got a tattoo, I'd be like, sick. But if you did jiu-jitsu, got a blue belt, and then you got in the UFC, not saying that this is Darius's case, by the way. Just
what was it? When we were at Supremacy, they were like, one of our only rules, like, you know, they went over the basics, like, you know, nails and hygiene and all that. And then they were like, you have to be at least a blue belt with 2 stripes before you can get a Supremacy tattoo.
that makes sense.
Or some shit like that. I thought that was funny.
That makes sense. It's funny and it makes sense. The last 4 fights of the card were absolute bangers. RoboCop. First of all, he really he's like, y'all need to start calling me RoboCop. He called himself RoboCop 7 times in the interview. I was like, look, man, it is who he showed it. He's like, I am fucking. We called it last week. Brad Tavares, he picked the fight with the wrong guy on the schoolyard, my guy. You didn't know it was RoboCop. Brad Tavares was a bad guy in the RoboCop movie. That's what we just saw. Halt. Halt, I am going to TKO you.
Stop resisting.
Yeah, just
stop resisting.
Just as we said last week, you know, he was just bigger, taller, stronger, longer, just all around, just a bad matchup for Brad Tavares. And how does he end up TKOing Brad Tavares? Hold still, right hand, hold still, right hand, hold still, right hand. Until the ref was like, Jesus, okay. Asking Brad, are you going to take another right hand? Or what, do you want me to stop it? Fucking. And then, you know, poor Brad, you know, he's like, what do you mean? Oh, man. I'm like, yeah.
You were getting murdered.
Trying to stop this cop for showing police brutality on you. Goddamn.
Right. I always find it ridiculous when a fighter's clearly like just getting swarmed, and then when the ref calls it, they're like, "What?"
I know.
I was gonna come back.
It more makes me laugh more than like, because it's sad because like most of the time they're on the ground when that happens. Most of the time they're on the ground, not completely starched, and then they wake up like, no, I was fine. You're like, oh, buddy. But to a fighter's perspective, like they're warriors, so like in their mind, even though they're on Nightmare Street, getting rocked to oblivion. But to them, they open up their eyes and they're like, I'm standing. What are you talking about, you idiot?
As they're like wobbling. No, yeah. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. I think UFC. No, I'm good. I think more UFC fighters need to become more common knowledge with being knocked out on their feet. They're like, some fighters get it. Some fighters, they come to while they're standing. They're like, oh, I was knocked out, wasn't I?
Oh, I was over there at first. Now I'm over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I don't remember the last 30 seconds.
I mean, that's pretty much what happened with Andre. Yeah, after the refs came to him, he literally said what happened.
Yep. And that's one of those sad ones. That's when you're like, oh, he didn't even know what happened, because they're not mad. They're just genuinely like, what happened
confused.
Again? It happens commonly when you get choked out. It's more common when you get choked out. You wake up being like, what happened? Because it's just nothing. Dude, shouts out Andre Feely. That means he's the man. That means he took that punch and he was like, I mean, it knocked me out, but I didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it till the next day.
Shit. Ain't no mark on me. Ain't no mark on me, though. Yeah, Dan Ige just unloads like the most cartoonish overhand right. And fucking that. Yeah, there was 2 men sent to the Shadow Realm last night. Holy shit. I will like when they got in there. Something about it. It was like I didn't see anything physically between them, but something about it. I was like, Andre Feely does not have this. He does not have this fight.
Yeah, he said he didn't even want to fight him. He said he was just given the opportunity, and he's just like, I might as well take it.
Yeah. Yep. That's usually you add that up, and that equals a bad night for you. So
yeah, still, if I was Andre, I would have been like, who? Oh, no, thank you.
Well, they're friends. So like Dan Ige.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that.
Yeah. And like they're saying Dan Ige neither of them wanted to do this fight, but you know, like Darnell said, Andre said it's an opportunity and he needs money, and you know, obviously, like he was saying in his last fight, he wants to be active, he wants to get more fights. Unfortunately, one of those fights was Dan Ige. It's like saying
friend and murderer.
It's kind of like when you say you want to pick up some shifts at work and then they offer you the shift and you're like,
ooh, God damn it. I guess.
Yeah, I needed money in that moment, but right now,
I'm good. Yeah. Hey, we have an extra
It's
shift.
a shift with who?
It's a shift with Dan
Oh,
Ige. Dan Ige is the shift lead, and you're like, oh
fuck.
no, I'm good.
He's gonna knock me out.
Oh shit. Jack Hermansen, Joe Pyfer. I mean, Joe Pyfer did not do very well for himself showing like the murderer that people thought he was going to be, but that's just people putting a lot of hype on him because of the podcast appearance. But it was an amazing fight. Both dudes put it all out there. Jack Hermansen, they're both equal. I think it's just experience that show for Jack, really. Jack's been in those deep waters a lot more than Joe. He's been fighting for, like I said, his record, even though, yes, admittedly, sometimes boring, still is going the distance with a lot of dudes and submitting. If he's not doing that, he's submitting or KOing or he's a veteran dude that I think Joe Pyfer, honestly, just going to learn from this. Next fight you see Joe Pyfer, he's going to dominate somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he gets that 5-round experience in. I mean, they went the distance, and I don't know. He didn't really gas like I thought he was gonna.
Fucking boring.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I hate watching Jack fight any fucking body.
I'll
It's just
goddamn.
pure boring.
I'll say that it was a striking fight through and through. There wasn't too much groundwork. It was pretty just smart groundwork by Jack. At the end of the day, it looked like Joe's nose got fucking busted in a little bit. He was bleeding from the nose, so probably gassing from that. To be honest with you, probably just didn't have enough to. Once you get that nose busted,
Breathe. Yeah.
Every fighter knows. Once you get that nose fucked up, it's a whole. You're fighting 2 different fights now. Shouts out fucking Rory McDonald, who got his nose completely rearranged by Robbie Lawler.
Oof.
That's one of the worst nose fuck ups in UFC for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would give this card a good solid B+.
I would also say a B+. I just give it a B. I'd say a B. Let's go. That was this passing card. Let's talk about upcoming this week. February 17th, UFC 298. Alexander Volkanovski, Ilya Taporia. Let's talk about this card. Pick a fight from the card. Who's going to be your favorite fight on the card that isn't the main event?
Justin Taffa.
Justin Taffa, baby. All we need is that Taffa dance. All we need.
Is that fight even actually happening still?
Yeah.
Nah, the fucking Paulo Costa fighting.
Oh, that's always good to check up on that one.
So all that nigga does is complain about weight cutting. They say,
Mhm.
well, just move up. Quit being a bitch.
Especially now. You ain't getting no title shot for a long time, my guy. Actually, that's a lie, the way the UFC runs nowadays. And how much the middleweight
Like
champion.
anything could happen.
Well, yeah.
Nah, he wouldn't get a shot just off him complaining about making weight all the time.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
wouldn't
nigga,
trust him.
Nah, you're good. You can fight these other people, though.
I never really liked the guy, and then when he was bitching about the fucking Luke Rockhold thing, I'm like, man, this guy's a pussy. Pretty
Pretty sure that
boy.
was his last fight.
A bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his last fight was fucking Rockhold. He has not fought since. That's funny.
Crazy. Oh yeah, fucking full year and almost a full year and a half now that he hasn't fought. And then he's going to come back against a decently active Robert Whittaker, who only loses to champions, apparently.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, no shit. It's called being a gatekeeper. I'll go ahead and pick a fight that I'm excited for on here, which is right above Taffa, Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Lemos. Mackenzie Dern famously won me over with The Rundown. I'm going to put a picture of the Rock movie, The Rundown, but I'm going to put Mackenzie Dern over it instead. Mackenzie Dern in The Rundown, famously when she literally full sprinted towards that bitch who full sprinted away from her, and she was like, "Where are you going?" I'm going.
Why are you running?
She looked at her and said, 62, which is a Waterboy reference. Yeah, I think Mackenzie Dern, I have Mackenzie Dern back all the way through. I'm pretty sure she's going to fuck up Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos, not putting you down. I also know you're a dangerous bitch. Mackenzie Dern, also a dangerous bitch. This is a battle. This looks like the battle of the two sisters who got called for like the like yo, I'm gonna get my sister to fuck you. I'm calling my sister, bro. Right. That's it. Then I'm calling mine. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm actually pretty hyped for that fight. Not really too knowledgeable on anybody in the early prelims or anybody below Justin Taffa. Not really too familiar with anybody here. Nakamura, I mean, I've definitely seen him before. Definitely seen him fight before. Still not very familiar with his fights. Everybody above, though, I very well know. So we can start from, first of all, do you guys have a pick between Roman Kopylov and Anthony Hernandez? Personally, I think they're sending Anthony Hernandez to his death, but I don't know why they're doing that. Seems pretty mean.
Oh, then yeah, that's why bro has a number on his head. That's why.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we need more people to actually fight a middleweight.
Damn, poor Anthony Hernandez, who like woke up one day and found himself in the rankings, and he was like, "Hey, not bad, number 14." And then they're like, "That's." it's like getting a fucking, I don't know. It feels like it's like getting an anime when you get into the rankings because there's just a bunch of fucking hungry ninjas down below you. Like, I'm about to fuck up number 13, 14, or 15 and get my way in there, bitch.
And that's Roman.
Even the picture comparison, Anthony Hernandez is like, "Hello, I'm Anthony Hernandez. I'm number 14 middleweight." Roman Kopylov's like, "I'm going to kill you and take number on head."
He wants the number 1 headband.
Oh yeah, there you go. Henry Cejudo, Merab. This is a tough one to pick. For me, I'm gonna stick with my boy Cejudo. I pretty much usually pick Cejudo when he's in a fight. This, I think that he'll be able to show up Merab. I almost don't want that though, because then what does that mean? He's setting up for the Sean fight, which is what I think he wanted in the first place.
Wait, who?
Henry.
Oh.
Because him and Sean wanted to fight, but Aljo beat Sean, or no, Henry, and then Aljo fought Sean and lost to Sean. So I was like, they both can, like, at that time, Henry and Sean wanted that. So I mean, technically, it would be great if Henry beats Merab, because then if Sean wins at the next pay-per-view and beats Chito Vera, then they can set up for Sean and Cejudo. But that's clearly what they're going to do here. Whoever wins here is probably going to get the next shot at the belt.
Well, I hope it's Henry, because I can't pronounce Merab's last name.
But Merab's two things about Merab. One, murderer. Okay, so let's just get that right out of the way. We know the man's can fight. Two, hilarious. We know the man's is funny. We know the man's can do a haha. He's a tee-hee kind of guy, and I dig that about him. He murders people and then goes tee-hee. So I like that about him. So if it's kind of one of those fights where whichever one wins. Threat-wise, though, I'm more worried about Merab winning that fight to fight Sean, because I'm worried about Sean and Chito right now. That's a whole different talk for a different podcast. But Henry, like,
what the fuck is this?
Sean and Henry, like I said, they've wanted to fight for a while. Sean has a full-blown game plan on how he knows he's going to beat Cejudo. So safety-wise, I want him to fight Cejudo so that way he can continue with that game plan, improve on that game plan, and make it work. What?
Sorry, has nothing to do with fighting, but Kanye actually dropped the album. Holy shit.
My guy. Let's go.
Fuck. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
That verse he did in the freestyle was fucking sick. I never found out if that was AI or not, but it seemed that it was pretty confirmed that it wasn't AI. Shouts out Kanye. Okay, so we got our picks in for Cejudo, Merab, right? I'm going Cejudo. Ian's going Cejudo.
Gotta go with Cejudo.
Yeah. Darnell.
I don't like either one of them. I don't really care.
I don't like either one.
Like, straight up.
Surprise.
Merab's not man enough to fight his friend for the belt.
True.
Now he's fighting a small man.
True.
That's his own fault. Henry should have just stayed retired, because that's fucking crazy. You talk all this shit after you retire, come back just to lose. It's like, dude, what the fuck? No, You talk that shit, nigga. You better win.
Yeah,
what
I agree.
Doing?
So we got you down for Henry.
Fuck no.
He's like, All right. It's funny, we bring up the Paulo Costa thing and like, oh, is that really should be talking about is this Ian Machado Gary fight still on with Jeff Neal? Because haven't they already tried to make this fight before? Didn't this fight get canceled?
Yeah, I think something happened with. I think Jeff pulled out the first time,
and then Ian pulled out the
Ian
second.
was supposed to fight somebody else, and then he pulled out like last minute. Or maybe that is what happened. Maybe it was Ian pulled out last minute because he had fucking pneumonia, and everybody immediately was just like, "Yeah, whatever, pussy."
Yeah. Word.
You got scared that people were talking about you and your wife.
It was too convenient.
And now you didn't want to fight.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those where you're like, with that kind of statement, you're like, well, we would like to believe you, but it's pretty convenient that you would catch pneumonia right around this time. Interesting. Pneumonia? You mean that thing that old people die to? The fuck are you talking about? Fight-wise.
Oh, he's supposed to fight Vicente Luque and then pulled out.
And that's
but
after...
I know that. Oh, and Vicente, I think he filled in for Jeff. So then, yeah, this all got fucked up.
Yeah.
But good on them for still saying, "Hey, we're still doing this."
I mean, I feel like, again, normally I do go with the longer fighters, but I really don't like Ian Machado Gary. So biasly, I'm going to pick Jeff Neal. I think Machado Gary probably has the skill set to beat Jeff Neal. I think Jeff Neal has better wrestling, better takedowns. So it's going to be depending on what Jeff Neal's game plan is when he shows up.
I don't like Ian. He's a cunt. He talks shit and then doesn't finish fights. Nah, I'm sorry.
Poor Ian. He's like, I don't like what these fighters got to say, Ian.
This Ian, he already, he put down a country boy and then got sent a fucking, what do you call it? Someone, I think, made a painting of it, which is even worse.
It was amazing.
And then it's just like, damn, dude, that's forever immortalized. Like, people are going to remember that one punch and you crumpled a country boy.
It is funny. The more and more you've talked about it, Darnell, the more every time you bring it up, I'm like, Ian does look exactly like Josh Emmett. Like, he literally looks exactly like him.
It wasn't just be funny. Like, like literally, if you cut your beard off right now,
you would be Josh Emmett.
You look like Josh Emmett.
If Ian, and oh my god,
if Josh grew his beard out again,
for sure,
y'all look like twins.
Oh my god, Ian, you should get one of those fake tattoo sleeves and put a big old fake tattoo sleeve on. I'll be like, yo, it's literally Josh Emmett. We can have you on interviews and be like, today, Josh Emmett on throwing hands, and then
you're gonna show up to my house.
Ian, you're a master of disguise. You put on the sunglasses, you put on the sleeve. Hi, I'm Josh Emmett. And then we go, Ian, did you have any questions for Josh? And you take off the sleeve, take off the glasses, and be like, Josh, how did you think when you...
You just cut.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Fuck Ian Machado Gary. We're going with Jeff Neal. Fuck Paulo Costa. We're going with Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker... I think here's the thing about Paulo Costa. First of all, he's going to come in overweight. That's probably a given. He's going to come in overweight.
What he does.
And he's probably going to try and wrestle fuck the shit out of Robert Whittaker. Every fight starts standing. They're probably going to bang. Robert Whittaker hits hard. Also, I mean, here's a back and forth thing. I kind of catch myself as I'm talking. Robert Whittaker has a weak chin now. He is easily rocked nowadays. So, and Paulo Costa throws some wild winging shit. And that's really the end of it. It's just like what I said with Duplessis when he was fighting Sean. He throws some wild winging shit, and it's not easy to fucking defend. So I don't know. And I think once he does that, Paulo Costa's gonna fucking try to wrestle him to the ground, take him down, control him. I wouldn't bet shit. You're asking me for bets. I'd be like, yo, bet on Paulo Costa, because that's more likely who's gonna fucking win by some pussy shit. But I want Robert Whittaker to win. I am picking Robert Whittaker to win this fight.
Yeah, I don't see him going to the ground.
Paulo?
Because he didn't even do that with what's his name? With
Luke.
Yeah, with Luke. It was Luke who took him down.
Yeah. Rub that blood on his face, baby boy. God, Luke's such a real ass dude. Like, I always think about
that. And then he met a real ass nigga.
Yeah, he did.
Mike Perry and knocked the fucking tooth out.
Yeah.
And he was just like, Never mind.
Done.
I thought I wanted this, but I clearly don't. I did not know who I was fucking with.
Didn't know you have these guys in here. What the fuck? First of all, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Shouts out to him for literally making a commercial for the main joke that Darnell says to everybody. He's got the 35-year-old curse. He's old. He's done. And Alexander Volkanovski, I feel like he heard Darnell's outcries and was like, "Let's make a commercial about this, boys."
Oh, it ain't me. That's everybody else. I don't care
that's
what.
Like it's a thing in MMA. It's a thing that they talk about. Once you're 35, you're done.
We'll see about
He
that.
just shouldn't have taken that second fight with Makhachev.
Really shouldn't have.
Fucking like week and a half notice.
Yeah, I think it's all too soon for this. Couple things that have been going on leading up to this fight that I want to point out before we actually break down anything in the actual fight itself is that one, Ilya's making himself like a complete heel and a total like just the most unlikable person. Like nobody wants this guy to win the fucking belt. Nobody wants this guy as the champion. If he wins, nobody's gonna. I mean, his people will care, and the people who back him will care, and that's gonna be really it. Everybody else is gonna not be able to. They won't be able to wait until either Volk fights him again or something else. But the other thing to point out is that something that it's kind of like a championship contract fill thing. Like you got to do it, but with Volk doing that commercial, notoriously when champions start doing commercials and start doing press like that, notoriously they are taking away time from training and all that, and they do less, and eventually they fucking lose their title fight. It's happened with almost every single champion except for John Jones. Instead, he got more money from those commercials, did more cocaine, beat his wife, and then still won his fights. But, you know, when they do the commercials, it's never really a good look. Since Liddell, like that's been the curse since Liddell. Like he started doing all those fucking Toyota tire commercials and the batteries for fucking whatever it is, Duralast, and then all of a sudden he's ice chin Liddell, and yeah, it's not I'm not very. It doesn't make me. How should I say this? It makes me concerned.
I think he's gonna do fine.
I think Ilya's gonna die.
Yeah.
He's low key, not even low key. It's pretty high key at this point. He's setting himself up for failure with the whole Instagram shit. He's already putting UFC champ 15-0. He has a documentary that's supposed to come out like a couple days after the fight, fucking titled like Road to the Belt. It's like, hey, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? Talking about, oh, I want to fight McGregor. You really think that big motherfucker's going back to 145? You're doing all the coke. You went to the Mount Everest of coke because you're fucking crazy, bro. There's no way he's getting back to 145. I don't think bro's ever mentioned him at any point. That's gonna be another who the fuck is this guy
100%.
moment. Like the second he said the McGregor shit, I was like, all right, now I need him to relax. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm like, Connor's so irrelevant at this point anyway, so it's like,
yeah, for real.
Why would you even bring him up?
That's a dead fighter right there, bro.
Is Ilya even interim or anything?
No, he's just challenging, but he's just that confident in himself that he's gonna win, and it's just like,
wow.
I don't know, man. You're doing this a little weird.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely doing it, and it's like his thought being like, people are gonna think this is awesome, and we're like, no, wrong.
Sir, calm your tits.
Like we talked about earlier, read the room, Taporia. Like if he, like I feel like genuinely, like if he just was coming in humble and like. Volkanovski literally elevates people when he has like a humble fight. Him and Max have had the 3 most humbling fights together, where he humbled Max 3 times in a row. And each time everybody.
I say 1.
Oh yeah, well.
The first one was points because he was leg kicking him the entire time. The second one was like, okay, cool, you did it.
Yeah.
But then the third one where it was just like, get this nigga away from me. You beat his ass.
For real. You're right. It's like, but in any fight he's had with, it's usually. Like, hey, let's be the best man, whoever goes out there. And it's like, Ilya's all of a sudden, like, he thought it would work. Like, no, I'm going to be the heel to his good guy shit. And I'm like, nobody wanted it. We like when he has respectable fights because they're better. That's pretty much it. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Sudden change is going to be his downfall.
I don't think that Ilya has, he doesn't have the experience. I mean, I get his 14-0 record. I get that shit. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the fucking type of wrestling. He doesn't have the fucking type of aggressiveness, the fucking striking. Man can strike. I'll give him that. Topuria is obviously a murderer, but I don't think when it compares to anything that Volkanovski does, I don't think there's a single thing he does that Volkanovski doesn't do better. So, sorry, bud. It's the end of your run. 14-1. That's what I'm saying.
14-1. So much for your documentary.
Can you imagine if he still like...
That would be the worst shit. If he straight up loses this and then it's just like, so what are we doing with that? We putting it on the shelf? We put it on ice? What are we doing?
He's
getting rid of the whole thing?
He will genuinely have to, because you know what's going to happen. It'll happen like in a way that if the documentary's already ready to go out, then basically that means he's filmed it up to this. And so he's already filmed things at the end of that documentary where he goes like, you know, February 17th, that's going to be the day when my life changes. I don't know why I'm doing Volkanovski's voice for Topuria.
Right?
I'm stuck. He's like, you know, it's going to be some shit like my life's going to change. I'm going to be the champion, and I'm going to be the best champion of all. He's just going to say things that he definitely thinks he's going to win. And then like, if he puts that out, then forever it's just going to be a documentary of him like thinking that he was going to win and then didn't win the title.
And then fucking got shut down.
So it's like, he could still put it out and it would all still be very accurate. There would just be a part where he depicts that he thinks he's going to win and doesn't.
Or they just add a hiatus. And then
hiatus.
Hiatus, yes, sorry. And then he fights for the title again.
Yeah.
And if he loses that, then they have to scrap the whole thing. Because then there's no way he's going to get another shot.
Oh, yeah. The other bullshit ass thing he said, fucking saying, I'm never going to give Max, Brian, or Yair a title shot. And it's like, nigga,
That's
you ain't finna avoid them fights. Yeah, it's like, nah. What are you talking about?
What an asshole.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like that leaves the question of like, so then who the fuck you gonna give an opportunity to then, Dick? You're gonna go down in the rankings?
Nobody's, yeah.
The fuck out of here.
Like the only people who've ever had to do that was fucking DJ.
Yeah, that's because he absolutely had to.
Like, yeah, he beat everybody.
He was fighting unranked dudes for the fucking title. He was like,
they're like, this guy seems tough. Has he fought him before? No. All right, send him in.
You know who has people don't talk about it enough is similarly only for a small bit, but when DC came in, like when he fought Pat Cummings, like that was a situation of we have nobody that can fight this guy. We have nobody that can fight DC, and then they gave him Pat fucking Cummings. They went to Starbucks and said, Pat, we need you. Okay. That's how unranked of people that he was getting. Like they were like, whoever we can get, and it might have been the same thing for DJ. It was the same thing for DJ. That is our predictions in the book for UFC 298. Exciting pay-per-view to look forward to. Can't wait to see the fights. Let us know down below what you think of our picks, what you think of the card, what you think of what's the past card. And please stay active in here. Let us know what you think of. We want to talk about it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about butter sausage in the comments.
What does it do? Where does it come from?
What's it doing? Why is it doing it?
So stupid.
It always sneaks up on me and makes me laugh more afterwards because I see his fucking whacked out face with confidence, you know. What's it doing? Where's it going? Why is it doing it?
I don't like chili. I like honey.
I was gonna ask you guys if you had a pick for the Super Bowl. If you had a pick for who won, who's gonna win the Super Bowl? Chiefs or 49ers?
Because I want to see everyone cry. I want to see everyone cry.
I'm with you on that one. I am also hoping the 49ers win. Also on for all those reasons. Also, I'm fucking sick and tired of the Chiefs winning. I'm so over it. Ian?
I don't like either of them, so I don't give a shit.
All right, so then you're with the 49ers then.
No, fuck the 49ers.
Also, shouts out Dan Soder. That's his team. So fucking and the fucking Chiefs have beat the 49ers and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and that's both Big J's team and Dan Soder's team. So now it's Dan Soder's time to get fucking redemption for everybody, for all the Philly guys, for all the fucking 49er fans. I bring that up and ask that because of one, today is in fact the 11th of February. Today is in fact the Super Bowl, and it was I don't know if you guys caught this last night. I think it was I was watching it because I was watching the fights on my phone at the hospital, and I was like, I noticed they did a segment where they asked fighters who they thought was going to win the Super Bowl, and only fucking 2 of them had real answers. Everybody else, every fighter went, who's in it? I think the Chiefs are, so I'll go with them. I don't know. They had fucking dumbass Money Moicano on there. He goes, I don't know. I don't know why I'm on here. That was his answer. And I was like, they literally did full production, lights, transitions, music. They put the Super Bowl trophy thing behind them or whatever. And fucking just to have, they did 7 picks just to have 2 of them go, which was Randy Brown saying he wants the Chiefs to win because he likes Travis Kelce and he bagged himself a baddie, so he wants them to win. And then somebody saying the 49ers because
shit.
I agree. Fucking, and then somebody saying the 49ers because of whatever fucking reason. Every other fighter was like, I don't know. And I was like, why did you do this? Why? But like, not even why did you do it? Why did you put that out there as a product? Why did you put that out there as a finished produced product to put on the show? You just showed people that your fighters don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, and that's fine. They don't have to know. They're fucking fighters. Like, it was just silly to me. I'm like, that didn't help at all.
Because ESPN.
Mm-hmm. Just people doing things to do things, like John Cena joining the Savannah Bananas just to do it. Just because why not?
He ain't wrestling no more.
I know, he can do whatever. I always say Reese was naming a bunch of stuff that he like does now, and then I go, and when he's not doing any of that, he's the voice of fucking Honda, Toyota. Like he's on all those fucking car commercials as the voice.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Not
that was just making bank.
Just not Ford. That's because they have their guys and they always get some deep voice guy. It's not the old guy anymore. It's somebody else, but he's still a, you know what America does. It's always some country voice guy. You know, in America, we like big wheels and big trucks. Well, I don't know why they don't just say that in the commercials. I don't know why they don't just go, in America, we like
our trucks big.
we like them Ford tough, and that's pretty much it. But no, now the Toyota commercials,
double-sized F4, F50.
Just the Toyota commercials, just pretending like we don't know it's John Cena. Just because I can't see him doesn't mean I can't hear him. I know John Cena's
know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah, I've listened to that man for well over a decade talk on a microphone. I know what his voice sounds like. Oh god. Okay, guys, this is the end segment of the show. This is Street Shenanigans, where we go over the craziness, the bullshit, and the Octagon control of fights all around the world. These are fights that are not in an octagon, but instead somewhere all around on the street, somewhere in a field, somewhere outside of a store, sometimes somewhere in an event where we need to break down something that even happened that was so crazy it was in an event that you would call this a street fight. It's a lot of things to be known about this, that we're breaking it down for educational purposes. We're letting you know about some things that people could have done better or worse in there, some things they could have done to defend themselves, get out of the situation, win the situation. All those are things that you'll learn, but the most important thing to know, and that's something Ian will tell you,
they're fine, YouTube. YouTube, they're fine. They're okay.
Everybody's cool. We've checked on them. Stop it. All right. Starting up is something that's going around right now. The Jake Paul and Sean Strickland thing is getting heated up because Sean Strickland, who is Sneeko? Clearly somebody Jake Paul knows.
He was a cool influencer, and then bro just went full like red pill manosphere.
Oh no.
And then he willingly put out the information that he watched his girl get smashed on 2 different occasions. It's like, why would you give people ammo with that?
Ugh.
Like, it doesn't even matter that like it's public knowledge. It's still just like, Nikki, you did that?
Yeah, it's public knowledge and you're letting people know more. Jesus, dude.
Yeah, so like now I think like his YouTube got taken down like completely, banned off Twitch. Now he streams on like Rumble and Kick and shit. Yeah, he was literally a pretty cool dude, and then out of nowhere, bro just went left, and I was like, why? Why'd you do this?
Why do I feel like I recognize him for also being in that beef with Moist Critical when they were? I thought I was like, that's the only way I recognize this guy. I thought I seen him in those videos. Moist Critical had that best comeback where he corrected him on like the gun lingo and showed him his guns, and I was like, damn, dude, fucking Muda or Moist is he's a beast. A skinny little beast. But let's see Sneeko get absolutely fucking shreked by Sean Strickland. Sean just bam, easy. You know what that looks it looks exactly like the combination he put on Izzy. That looked like pretty much the exact angle and everything. Pull that back all the way to where he rocked him.
This is the funnier part because they throw in multiple towels.
Yeah,
and he's still just hitting them.
Hell yeah, Sean. I don't give a fuck about them towels.
Sean's like, you're gonna fucking learn today, kid.
Okay, that movie's just not moving now.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my god.
Boom.
Oh my god.
Yeah, by the way, that's Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Griffin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Forrest
that
Griffin
is
breaks up the
Forrest.
fight. Shouts out Forrest Griffin was like, I want to see this
bro.
happen, but also, goddamn.
I have a fucking lawsuit on our hands.
So a couple things about this. One, goddamn, Sean looked good. I mean, he's just fucking up some guy named Sneeko, but he did look good. Jake sees this and starts talking shit, saying that the main thing that was the dumbest, that Jake's just a fucking loser. He's just a fucking piece of shit. I mean, it's so crazy. I think Ian was the one who said it. I was talking about how Logan has really changed things with what he's been doing, even with things that he has done that are shitty in the past. You know, people can accept that he's trying to be different now. He's whatever. He's not the piece of shit that he always was. Jake's just a piece of shit at all times. And Ian was like, it's because he's the little brother. And I'm like, you're right. I forgot about that. He's got to be, again, so I'm taking your guys' phrase. I love him. Like, he's being a snot. He's being a real fucking shithead for no reason, though. But he's not a good snot like Drew McIntyre. He's a bad snot. He's like bad mucus.
Bad boogers.
Jake Paul calls him out saying that he thinks it's shitty that he was like, he thinks he's picking on Sneeko. And then also that he said that he didn't look, he said that he couldn't knock out Sneeko because you're weak. Yeah, you didn't have good, like, just all these things that, like, I'm like, Sneeko was, like we talked about earlier, out on his feet. He's not there right now. His feet are just keeping him up somehow. It's kind of how that works. So no, he did get knocked out, and Sean would have killed him if they would have kept going right there. So it's pretty interesting that Jake's so dumb that he'd be willing to make a comment on something that short of that was like within 28 seconds that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just trying to stir some shit up to where he's like, oh, we'll come over to my whatever, because he does PFL now, right?
Yeah.
Or is that the other one?
No, he doesn't do PFL until he actually steps in that fucking ring.
Correct. Yeah. He still hasn't done that. And I don't know why they.
I thought he had something coming up.
He always has something coming up that never.
I don't think he has anything coming up right now, and that's why he fucking decided to open his fucking mouth.
Yeah, and that's
he needs to stay relevant.
That's what's curious, because I don't even think he was really necessarily calling out Strickland, but that's what it should be, right? He's like, he should be.
Oh no, he did. He said he invited him to Puerto Rico to spar for $1 million, and Sean was like, "Bro, you got knocked. You got beat by a part timer. Why the fuck would I go down there?"
Yeah.
And then Jake's like, "Oh, looks like he's turning it down. He's scared, just like fucking Patty." And it's like, no, just nobody wants to deal with your shit.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Annoying.
That's because that's always do it the same way. They're always like, come down to like where we live and we'll pay you money, as if fucking like, it's like nobody wants to go to a room filled with your boys, like to your home area where you live. Like no one wants to do that. That doesn't make any sense. How about meet in a neutral? Or what? I bet a ton of these guys have been like, meet me in Vegas, meet me here, meet me there, and he's probably like, no, I don't do that. And it's like, yeah, because you're actually the pussy, Jake Paul.
It's all just drama.
Yeah. This is just a video of a girl's ass.
Yeah.
What we got here is, I've seen a shortened video of this fight before. This is the whole thing. First of all, this is clearly at Halloween. My man, we got some guy who's just a guy. And then we got this girl who's dressed up as some bunny thing. And we got Negan over here. You can see Negan because you can see the bat on the ground, and you see the red handkerchief, the leather jacket. Clearly, he is being Negan from Walking Dead. This is a very interesting street fight. Let's watch it and then we'll go from there. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Damn, that bitch spit. She's a real ass bitch. All right, so we got some shit talking going on. Okay, so here we go. So we got again, I don't know. This guy clearly doesn't belong at the party, by the way. I'm just saying, he's the only one not dressed up.
He's not in costume.
So Negan smartly is like, all right, I'm gonna take off my jacket now. That guy goes and grabs Negan's bats. Yeah. Which that guy's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And then swings with the bat like an asshole. So now they're scrapping. Now they're all hands. And I have zero respect for Orange Shoes because he's got his hands down. Boom, gets popped with a jab. Negan clearly has at least some type of striking experience. It's not going to show well right here because he gets rocked and he starts doing some spins. That's never good. We've talked about that before. You don't want to spin around in front of your opponent. Oh, now he's doing the shuffle, and it didn't work for him. He got popped again. So pause it right here. Up to this point, who do you think is winning this fight between you guys? Who do you think is winning this fight right now currently?
Seems pretty
The cameraman.
even to me.
The cameraman. Word.
People watching.
Yeah. I think it's pretty even, but it's like if I'm scoring this in MMA sense, Negan's piecing him up. He's piecing him up pretty good. He's popped him with a couple different jabs and hooks, but he did get rocked. Got rocked once. Keep it going. Boom, flying knee, which is unexpected from this guy. Holy shit. And that's a lesson. Don't underestimate your opponent, even if he's throwing that dumb Look at this. Reversal. Boom, luchador shit. Into the choke, but he doesn't fully have it. Now the squad rolls in. Hold up. Like, he's trying to switch for a fucking Darce choke, and boom! Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, the story with this video, bro was hollering at the chick from like across the street.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't like it. So that's why they're fighting. That's literally the only reason they're fighting.
That's crazy.
And it's funny that she was screaming stop at first, and then you see her jump in, and it's like, wait, what do you want then?
Yeah, what's happening? So that fight ends right there where you can see he gets thrown down. He does get thrown down eventually. So thrown
down twice.
Yeah, and then he doesn't really eat that shot on the ground. It kind of misses him, to be honest. It doesn't really do anything, and he pops right back up. So my question to you now at the end is, but who won that fight? I don't know.
Neither of them.
He literally got everything. He didn't do the weird thing where he like decides he's off at an angle somewhere.
Yeah.
He didn't look at someone who was screaming and yelling.
True.
He was locked in.
Locked in. You're right. Shouts out the cameraman. W's cameraman. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to this guy who ended up like, you know what it was? I think he started taking the fight a little bit more seriously. He was like, oh, this guy's popping me. I got to fucking actually put my hands up. So, hey, that's the kind of shit we kind of talk about. Is like, he came in lackadaisical and he started getting pucked up. I said puck, mom, with a P. Can't you spell? Anyway, yeah, and then he started getting real serious about it, and then he started winning the fight for that reason. He starts dominating him. He hits him with the flying knee. He hits him with the right hook. And he kind of gets cocky here, but he's safe. He knows what he's doing. He even knows to push his legs away. That's pretty smart. And just ran up on
a little jump.
Just a little. That's what's funny too. It was just a little jump. It was a small one. And then unfortunately, man starts doing yells like he just
shit out of that girl.
Yeah, he started doing the yell like he just like dominated the fight, which wasn't the case necessarily. And then
not till the end.
Yeah, no. You can towards the end, you could say he won the fight for sure. All right, you can pull that one away now. You can pull that all down.
Stricken.
You want to get struck? That's you. Fucking YouTube. Anytime we do any types of clips ever, you want to get struck?
You want to get struck?
No.
You're about to get stricken. Fuck. Why?
You're about to get Strickland.
Strickland.
All right, guys, that's the end of the Street Shenanigans episode. Again, a Street Shenanigans segment. Again, apologize for not being able to play that second one, but let's get these numbers up so that way we can make a Patreon and start playing things from wherever we want. We have a lot of things we'd love to break down from a lot of different video perspectives, a lot of different fights that go around the world. And hey, Superman was in the background. That we are able to do that more if we have some type of Patreon. So please, let's pump these numbers up. Let's get to a Patreon. Let's get some more followers. Let's get active in the comments. Thanks, guys, for watching this episode. You already know where to follow us, so that means we are done. Stay throwing hands out there, boys. Don't be pussies. See you guys next week.
Throwing hands.
Yeah.
You got you're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
My balls was hot.